Hello and welcome to Miles Motoring. My name is Miles and today we are going to talk about the Toyota Caldina GTT. This is my daily driver, but before we get into this, I want to say a massive thank you to Joe from Blue Multimedia. So to start with, the Toyota Caldina was only ever sold in Japan. It was sold for the Japanese domestic market, but it had the underpinnings of a very special car. That car was no other than the 90s rally car, the Celica GT-Four. The ST205 came with the 3S GTE Rev 3 engine. However, the Caldina got an uplift on this and got the 3S GTE in the revision 4. A lot of people in America and in Europe use these cars as a breaker to fix up their Celicas and MR2s. However, I think this car as it stands is fantastic. So if you are looking for a car with all-wheel drive, if you are looking for a car with 260 brake horsepower, what more could you want than a Toyota Caldina GTT? Now on this particular model, it had an aero kit. I never actually found what it was in the brochure, but it's cool. It's got two sets of lights on the front there at the bottom. You have the central rally fog lights and then the corner lights. We have some Hell horns that we fitted, and we have an aftermarket grille, which again I don't know what it is, so if you know, pop it in the comments. It'd be good to know what this car is and its history a bit more. We have some 16-inch wheels, so we previously had some SSRs which were 17s. I wanted a bit more ride comfort. It's known in the UK that we get a little bit of road with our potholes, so we've gone for more tyre and smaller wheel, which was great. The calipers have been refurbished on this, new discs and pads, new rubber. Now, as the sun is not being a paid actor today, we're going to turn the car around, so here's a little intermission to keep you guys going. Right, now that's sorted, we have the rear. Now you have this beautiful mid-chin spoiler and top spoiler. These were usually reserved for the GTT models, but yeah, this one was finished off nicely. You may also be looking at this trim here. Very common for failing on the Caldina GTTs. However, we did manage to get one from Japan. It only took 3 months, so it's not overnight parts from Japan, unfortunately.
You know what? This will decimate all after. You put about 15 grand in it or more if we have to. Overnight parts from Japan. The
exhaust system, naturally, you cannot get a Caldina exhaust system anymore. However, there are some manufacturers out there that do exhaust systems that still do them. And the one on here is a Fujitsu system. It is still available new, and you can find them from a multitude of suppliers in the UK who can get them imported for you. Unfortunately, I don't have any beautiful assistance. In fact, I don't have any assistance. So I wasn't able to cram 3 bodies in this boot. However, if you come with me, I'll show you the size of this boot. The Caldina GTT was always meant for the family man. Now, there's just me and the missus and a blow-up airbed, which this is perfect for. However, if you've got a dog and a child and a kitchen sink and you need to go out, you can keep all your tools under the false floor. It does also have a space saver spare wheel in there, which again has another toolkit, because who knows, with a 26-year-old car, you may need to repair it once in a while. Right. Enough of the boot. Let's go for a drive. Did I mention this car here does a modest 0 to 60 in 6.47 seconds, as tested on Draggy. That's not me pulling numbers out my... Let's go. So, to the inside of the car, you would know that this is a 90s Toyota. The finish on it is stunning. Not only do you have your leather steering wheel, decent trim on your dash, you've got things like climate control, electric folded mirrors, electric heated mirrors. You've got white dials on the GTT model as well, I think on the phase 1, which was a pre-facelift of this, had blue ones, but this has Triptonic shifting as well. So it's 4-speed, typical 90s slush box from Japan with overdrive, but it does offer a manual mode, which you can knock it across, drop your gears on the steering wheel, and put your foot down. One of the great things with the Caldina is how planted the vehicle is. Helped by the all-wheel drive system, the car comes in at around 1400 kilograms, which is the same as a modern-day hatchback. However, with the Caldina, it still feels light and agile, really feels smooth through the corners, and can lap up the mileage when doing a road trip. So this has now been my daily vehicle for the last 3.5 years, and it's been fantastic. We've made a few modifications over the years, and we've ended up with an unexpected guest in the form of my Sony XAV Android Auto head unit. We do also have a wireless 2 connector at the back, so Android Auto is, or Apple CarPlay is wireless, which is fantastic. We've also got a boost gauge. The car typically runs 0.6 bar and peaks at about 1, but yeah, we've got a few modifications that just help bring a car that was made in the 20th century a bit more 21st century. So there isn't much not to like. We've also got the cameras fitted front and rear. Those are next base. We have a 4K camera on the front and a 1080p on the rear. These are to help in instance of road traffic accidents or anything like that. We were T-boned a few years ago when I first got the car. It damaged the rear door, but the incident ended up being 50-50 because it was my word against theirs. Whereas a dash cam would have shown that it was the third party's fault. So grab yourself a next base dash cam. It will save you all sorts of headaches.
Not sponsored.
No, not sponsored. No. If Nextbase would like to donate to my channel, please visit MilesMotoring.com, follow our Just Giving link, and send me some money across, and hopefully we'll get you a few sales. As I was saying earlier, the handling on this car is fantastic. In its standard form, it was built for touring. However, we've added some BC coilovers to this, which just help tighten it up, along with that all-wheel drive system, and slightly smaller wheels now with the 16-inch over the 17s that we previously had, and it's perfect for B-road bashing. So one of the most common questions I get about this car is around fuel economy. And yes, it is a 90s built car, although this one was 2000. They built these until 2001. Fuel economy is not great. However, for an automatic from the 90s, 4-speed, it does come with an overdrive. And if you look after that accelerator pedal and you don't push it so hard, you do actually get some decent miles per gallon back. However, for most drives, especially if you're off on a spirited drive, you can simply turn off the overdrive with a push of a button, put your foot down, and enjoy that open road. Something I don't think I've really appreciated so much on this car, as much as others, is the blow-off valve. So inside the cabin you hear it chirping away, doing its thing, but I've never appreciated how loud it is on the outside. I only get this from passing comments when people talk to me and they say how loud it is. Now, you'll have to let me know. Now, one thing that the GTT does come with over and above the other models is chrome door handles. Would you believe that Toyota still sell these door handles for around £150 a piece? So before I come to my conclusion, I just want to share that this has actually been one of my favourite daily vehicles to have owned. The other car that comes close to it, or is actually probably better, was the Mark 7 Golf GTI. Now, don't get me wrong, the Caldina is nothing like the Golf, but it offers all the same practicalities, although I would prefer the xenon lights or the LEDs that I used to have on the Golf over what we have on here. I think they're HIDs or something, but they're not very bright. But one piece of advice before we do finish this video: if you are thinking of making content or you want to do it, make sure there is a level of cathartism for you to do it for yourself, and the rest will come. Don't worry about what other people think or what other people may say. Just enjoy it. So in summary, the Caldina is a completely under the radar, perfect daily vehicle. The only downside to these cars are sourcing parts, expensive on fuel, and yeah, it's just a bit different. But if you want something that's unique, powerful, very capable, don't look much further than the Caldina. And if you're bothered about the automatic transmission, it works for me because I don't have the best use of my left leg. But if that is something that is a non-starter for you, you're in luck. With the ST215, you can do a manual conversion. So what are you waiting for? Go and import a Caldina GTT.